I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic. I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, American patriots. Tonight, there are some very, very disturbing things happening in our country. I call this breaking news Treason 2.0. And the treason being committed is being done by our president, Joe Biden. And I'm going to explain why, in my opinion, and the opinion of all the military experts that I've spoken with, many that I served with, as well as many members of law enforcement that I've worked with, served with, and that are still in right now, feel the exact same way that I do. That what is happening with Joe Biden and China, and what is happening or has happened with Joe Biden and the Afghanistan pullout, both fall under the umbrella of treason. So, by now, you've all heard that China has sent what they claim is a weather balloon that got stirred off course by winds over our country, and they're sorry that happened. Our Pentagon, the United States military, and NORAD is saying it is not a weather balloon, it is a spy balloon. They're using it to spy on us, America, and our secrets. It is steerable. They've admitted that. In fact, it is so steerable that it has been steered over the top of several of our military installations. One, where we keep our nuclear arsenal, our intercontinental ballistic missiles with nuclear capability, and several different U.S. Air Force bases where we also have our nuclear forces and our nuclear bombers. This is not collecting weather, if that happens to be the case and the Pentagon is correct. Now, our generals have given a contingency plan to Joe Biden as to how they think this should be handled. Now, I haven't seen it, but I can guarantee you one of the things that's on it, and we know that because of what came out of the White House today, is to shoot it down. Another country spying on America, shoot the damn thing down. Now, how do we know that their generals suggested that? We know so because the White House put out today that they do not want to shoot it down because it could injure people on the ground, therefore hurting Americans. Now, I'm sure that everyone listening to this, or at least 99.9% of you, have at one point in your life flown in an airplane or a passenger jet across America. And you know, as well as I know, as well as everybody in the military, that there are millions and millions and millions of acres of land where there's no human activity, where this balloon can be shot down. And it will not affect humans on the ground. In fact, our military is so accurate with this that they can decide where they're going to shoot it down and pinpoint within a 2-mile radius of exactly where the debris will land. So there is millions of acres out there where this can be done and done safely, where it will not affect us. Or you just let the Chinese continue to spy on our military bases and fly their spy balloon wherever the hell they want to, which appears to be what the Biden administration is doing right now. This week, we had 2 separate military active duty generals that have sent out emails to their commanders telling them to prepare for a possible war with China by 2025. Google it. It's out there. You can get the names of the generals and everything that was said in the emails, because that's already been talked about. So we know that what China is doing is a bad thing. Now, we've also found out in the past 24 hours that this isn't nothing new, that China has done this before. Now, have they done it before under this current administration? Or did it happen under Trump? Or did it happen under Barack Obama? When did it happen? And how do we, the American people, not know about this? We do know when China sends military aircraft to intercept our aircraft that are flying near Taiwan, for instance. We know all about that. That's shared with us. We do know when the Russians send their bomber aircraft flying towards our coastline and we intercept them just to test us. We know that. That's been going on for many, many years. But for another country to send a spy balloon over America and over where we keep our nuclear arsenal and our nuclear bombers takes this to a whole new level. Not only that, but also being reported tonight is they're doing the same thing in Canada and they're doing the same thing in Central and South America. These supposedly weather balloons that went off track due to the prevailing winds are now popping up in many different locations. There's also a report out tonight that I can't back up because I don't have all the information on it, that there is a second one of these spy balloons over the continental United States right now. More to come out on that. So Speaker McCarthy comes out today and says, I demand a meeting of the Gang of Eight about this spy balloon. Now, what does that mean? It is, the Gang of Eight is when all the leaders of the Democrat Party and the Republican Party in Congress and senators get together and get a classified briefing from the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And they brief them on whatever the case is that they want to talk about. In this case, it's that balloon. And they approved it for next week. Not tonight, not tomorrow, not Sunday. No, next week, the Pentagon will brief them when the balloon could be gone by then. Another thing I want you to think about is while our Pentagon and our military is saying they know 100% it is a spy satellite, it has nothing to do with weather. What if it has some type of a detonating device on it? And it's capable of who knows what? Maybe it has a nuclear weapon on board it, or some type of chemical warfare that they could explode over a city. We don't know. And I'd venture to say that deep down inside, neither do the minds at the Pentagon of exactly what's hanging underneath that balloon. But what we do know is by not taking action and doing something about it, where that falls into our United States Constitution. And that's what I want to make very clear about. What does our laws and our Constitution say about treason? Let's talk about that real quick with the balloon situation. The offense of treason exists at both federal and state levels. The federal crime is defined in the Constitution as either levying a war against the United States or adhering to its enemies, and carries a sentence of death or imprisonment and or fine. The United States Constitution, Article 3, Section 3 reads as follows: treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. United States Code 18 U.S.C. 2381 states, whoever, owing alliance to the United States, levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death, or shall be imprisoned not less than 5 years and fined under this title, but not less than $10,000, and shall be incapable of holding any office in the United States of America. Now, what we do know that's a fact from the Hunter Biden laptop is the deals that have been happening with Hunter and his daddy, Joe Biden, our president, and China. That's blasted all over the internet. Yet our FBI has been covering it up, and our CIA is doing absolutely nothing about it. Neither is our military. That is factual information. The Bidens have made billions of dollars with their dealings with China. And now, this country, China, that our military generals are on record this week saying, prepare for a war against them coming up. This president doesn't want to have the balloon shot down because it may endanger people on the ground when we have millions of acres where they can pinpoint, shoot it down, and it will not affect anyone. That being said, tonight being reported in Montana is some type of an explosion that has happened in the air. Not where this balloon is that we're aware of. So either we've shot something else down, or China or whoever has blown something up over the skies there. And those films and cell phone footage are popping up all over the internet right now. Fox News just did something on it a few minutes ago showing it. We still don't know what it is, but it exploded in the sky. So, if you are working backroom deals with China and making millions, if not billions of dollars from doing illegal shit with them, as Hunter Biden was doing, and now we know his dad was connected with him, although Joe Biden has said all along, I knew nothing about my son's dealings. Now we've got whistleblowers that have come forward and went, bullshit, here's the pictures of Joe meeting with us and Hunter discussing these deals in China and in Ukraine. We have the emails that have come out exposing that Joe Biden was completely in the loop on this and taking money from this. And yet he doesn't allow our military to take down this, according to our Pentagon and our generals, a spy weather balloon flying just high enough to where it doesn't affect any of our passenger jets. That, in my mind, and everyone I've spoken with about this, is treason. Now, why do I call this treason 2.0? I'm on record already talking about the first act of treason that this president has committed. And that is when we pulled out of Afghanistan the way we did, we left all the military equipment behind and then lied to the American people and said it was destroyed, when we know for a fact it wasn't, because we've had military members that were there that have come out and told us they only destroyed a very small percentage before they pulled them out of there and said, let the Taliban have it. So we know for a fact that under this president, our military was ordered out of there, leaving behind billions of dollars worth of our military equipment to be used by the same people that want to chop our heads off. The same people intertwined that were part of what happened to us on 9/11, for crying out loud. We surrendered to our enemy, basically. If that isn't aiding the enemy, what the hell is? It's pretty plain and simple. It's right there in our Constitution. Now, possibly, sometime that we don't know about yet, Biden has told our generals, if the balloon gets over an area that's not populated and you can shoot it down where it's not going to kill somebody on the ground, do so. We don't know. We may find that out tonight. We may find that out this weekend, or it may never happen. There will come a time when this spy balloon is going to be over water. Shoot it down then. Whatever. The fact that we allowed them to enter our airspace is against our laws. It is a military, it requires, it's not a maybe, it requires our president to activate our military to retaliate against a country that enters into our airspace illegally. It's a requirement. And as of tonight, we're not doing anything about it. Nothing other than monitoring it. And supposedly we're jamming it somehow to where they can't send whatever information they're gathering back to their military bases in China. I don't know if that's the case or isn't the case. But the President of the United States has an obligation to we the people to protect us from our enemies. And when we have, I don't care how you look at it, when we have military active duty generals telling their troops to prepare for possible war with China, that tells me there's something bigger going on there, and they are a threat to America. And hell, with everything that happened that came out of China with COVID, where do you think I'm thinking right now? Probably the same thing you're thinking. This was done on purpose to kill off as many people as they could. And then let's test them and see if we can send a balloon over there and spy on their nuclear bases, say it's a weather balloon, and see what they will do about it. And so far, as of right now, February 3rd at 7:49 p.m. Central Time, we're doing nothing about it, but letting them get away with it. And the rest of the world is looking at us going, what in the hell happened to America, the once mighty, powerful country? What have we done to it? Now, I want you to imagine for one moment, just imagine if Trump had won and he was still in office. Or it doesn't have to be Trump. Pick anyone that's a Republican. If a Republican was in office right now, and this exact same scenario that I've just laid out here, and you've been watching happen over the news in the past few days, was going on, and that Republican president was not doing anything about it and making his military stand down the way Democrats do that in cities across America to our law enforcement against criminals and BLM and Antifa, if that was happening, the Democrats would be just going absolutely nuts right now. And they would be saying exactly what I'm saying right now, which is, this is treason. This has to be fixed. Again, there may be things going on right now that I don't know about. I hope that's the case. I do hope that somewhere in the military, they're thinking, we're not going to let Joe Biden make this decision because he's incapable. And we all know that. He's got some type of a mental problem, whether it's dementia or whatever. He's not all there. But they have an obligation to us to keep us safe. And our Joint Chiefs of Staff need to remember their oath that they took. Because this president, he doesn't. He doesn't remember his oath. And neither do most of the Democrats up in Washington, D.C., for that matter. So I guess the only thing I could suggest besides prayer is reach out to your members of Congress and reach out to the speaker. Hell, reach out to the White House for that matter. You can go right there. You can look up the website and find ways to contact the White House. By phone, by fax, by email. And tell them nicely and politely how you feel about what is happening to this country under this administration. And if we, the people, band together and start making these phone calls and sending out these emails and going to their social media sites and just going full forward with this, maybe something will be done to fix it. But sadly, I see in the next 48 hours something going down that's not going to be good for our country. And I hope and I pray that I'm wrong. Treason 2.0. Joe Biden is guilty of treason twice now. And where are those responsible members of our Congress to hold him accountable? Because that's their job. That's their job. They have the power to bring him up on charges of treason. So it's up to we, the people, to force them to do their own damn job. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving in the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders, their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families in our country. May God bless the United States of America. And I believe we need that more now than at any time in our history, because we are being led by a bunch of incompetent fools and led down a slippery slope that doesn't seem to end. God bless you. I hope you all have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend. And I hope that all of this turns out in our favor. But you need to pay close attention, because it's not looking good, my friends. In fact, it's looking frightening. Take care, and I'll see you soon.